This is the Karl Miller Show, where we talk about all things real estate, financial investments, and getting into a home you love. With over 15 years of experience, this is your host, Karl Miller.
Meet Karl Miller Realty agent Debbie Timberlake today. And when buying a home feels out of reach, some families are doing this instead. You'll learn all about that in the second half of our show. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Karl, your host, the principal broker at Karl Miller Realty. We're Lynchburg's first certified full-service professional brokerage. We're located at 7700 Timberlake Road in Lynchburg, and we are your caring, competent, trusted advisors for real estate sales and service. If you are a homeowner or an aspiring homeowner, this show is for you, and I'm in a network of the best agents in the United States and Canada who operate with skill and with a relational approach to meeting your housing needs. So whether relocating to or from Central Virginia, maybe you've inherited a house outside of Lynchburg and you don't know who to call, we've got you. I want to just thank again our sponsor from last Friday's shredding day that we did. We talked about it last week on the show a little bit, but man, Michael Newhall with Goosehead Insurance kind of came through for us and sponsored just an amazing day with our clients as we were out there in the field all day. We had roll brew coffee truck out there. We had dozens and even hundreds. I think we have hundreds of people stop by our office, took advantage of the shredding opportunity, got coffee and a free donut, and we got to interact with just dozens and dozens and dozens of clients last Friday. It was so much fun. I want to thank Michael again for Goosehead Insurance for just sponsoring that event. It was a lot of fun. Next weekend, May 2nd, the Twisted Trail 10K. Actually, that is coming right up. It's not too late to register for that, and it's actually on May 2nd. Actually, it's today, I guess, May 2nd. I am confused about my dates. All right, if you're listening to this show, it's happening right now as we speak. 9 o'clock a.m., you missed it, but stop by if you want to see us. We are there. We're out there having fun with all of the ultra runners, the trail runners. It's not really ultra race. This is a 10K, but yeah, our firm is out there right now as we speak. We've got a pair of shoes we're giving away, a gift card. If you stop by right now, you can probably be a part of the door prize and just say hi and congratulate some of those runners finishing up the 10K race this morning that started at 9 o'clock. And Karl Miller Realty is there sponsoring and, again, giving away a free pair of running shoes. I want to thank our sponsor, Gary's Garden Center. Moms deserve the best. And the best can be found at Gary's Garden Center with Mother's Day just around the corner. So that's what's happening next weekend is Mother's Day, not the race. What better way to show your love than with something mom can enjoy for many months or even years to come? So whether it's vibrant roses or stunning hydrangeas or charming hanging baskets and large combo pots, Gary's Garden Center, they got the perfect gift for you to make Mom's Day unforgettable. If you don't know what to get, just stop by Gary's Garden Center and buy one of those great gift certificates because every mom deserves to pick her favorites. You can visit Gary's Garden Center at the intersection of Leesville Road and Greenview Drive. You can also go to garysgardencenter.com.
It's time for a new featured listing from Karl Miller Realty.
We've got a great property that's available out in Appomattox County, and it's right on Wildway Road. It is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath ranch home that offers the perfect blend of peaceful living and everyday convenience. It's just minutes from the amenities of Appomattox, and it's situated on it's almost 2 acres of land. This property has an oversized 1-car garage, a beautiful flat backyard with mountain views, by the way. And I think the best feature of this house, in addition to the update, so it's got an updated bathroom, newer granite countertops, new refrigerator, storm doors, sliding glass doors, and off that back is just this amazing screened-in porch addition with an open deck off the side of that, and it overlooks your own backyard, complete with some fruit trees, plum trees, fig trees, blackberry, blueberry, raspberry bushes, and it's got a full unfinished basement. I think this house is on a great value. It's priced at just $274,900. Kathy Bowman Ladd is the listing agent on that. You can go to karlmillerrealty.com, get all the info, call Kathy, and schedule your appointment on that house today. Well, in the studio today, we have Debbie Timberlake. Debbie has been in the real estate industry for quite some time. She is an amazing human being, and I think she just brings such joy and love everywhere she goes. And if you know Debbie, if you've ever met her, She just wears a smile. She makes people feel really good about themselves. And Debbie, it is so good to have you in the studio with us. Welcome to the studio.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here and a blessing to be part of Karl Miller Realty.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. We believe that it's a blessing that you're part of our firm. And, I think you came over to our firm after your son, Shane, joined Karl Miller Realty.
Yes, I had
ago.
to.
You had to. Had to follow.
I had to follow him over. I was proud of him and what his decision was, and to come over to your firm. And
sure.
I had known you a long time anyway.
We worked together at Remax back in the day, right?
No. I was
So Long and Foster?
Long and Foster.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were there when I was there.
I'm not sure either, man. Yeah,
I was
we're
ready.
dating ourselves.
Love all the firms, but I was ready to make a move anyway, and that just I had to go where Shane was. And it's best move.
When did you get licensed? I know you've been in the industry for quite some time.
2007.
2007. Okay, so soon after I did.
Right. I think you're 05 and I was 07. Yes.
Yeah, so coming on 20 years now.
20 something years.
And what did you do before the real estate industry business?
Well, after when the kids were born, I was very blessed to be a stay-home mom.
That's awesome.
And I think being a stay-home mom actually helped me for the real estate industry. But I ended up we were blessed to stay home with the boys, and I really made a decision to do something when our younger one, Shane Timberlake, who by the way is a great agent also, got his driver's license.
So they kind of grew up, and now all of a sudden you don't have as much drama and chaos going on. You're like, let me just get into the real estate business and bring that back into my life. Just kidding.
It was that, or that was chaotic too, but it was that or radiology.
Oh, okay.
And my dad retired and from the Newport Shipbuilding, and he became a realtor, became a broker, bought the firm.
Yeah.
Kept saying, "Oh, you need to do this. You need to do this. You've got the personality." So I kind of went in that direction, and it helped me balance everything: high school ball, college ball.
Yeah.
Because we can pretty much do real estate anywhere.
And man, I'm thinking back to 2007. Man, we were in just before the throes of the recession.
Yes.
So you kind of got in right before.
Everybody asked me, "What are you doing?
Right.
Why are you getting in at this time?" And I didn't know the ins and outs and the ups and downs of real estate and the ebbs and flows. I didn't know all that, but it worked out.
No, it's interesting because I was just kind of getting my career going. Like you said, I got licensed in 2005, and literally 3 years later, we're in the recession. Now, there were a lot of agents complaining about it. A lot of agents were kind of discouraged. They were getting out of the business. But for me, I didn't know any better. I'm just this young, hungry guy. You didn't know any better either.
No.
So here's what I remember about that time. There was just literally thousands of listings. There was literally over 2,000 single-family homes for sale in Lynchburg and touching counties in 2008. And I remember sellers would call sometimes saying we need to sell the house. And at one time, and I don't remember what year it would have been, maybe 10 or 11, I literally had 50 signs in yards, 50 homes for sale at the same time. And I remember going out meeting sellers, like, are you sure you want to sell now? Because you have to undercut everybody else, right?
It just comes down to where we learn in real estate.
Yeah.
It's sometimes, yes, it's a lot about the market, but
Right.
there's situations.
That's right.
There's family situations. There's things that are good. There's things that are bad, and depending on what it is, it doesn't matter what's going on in the real estate world.
Right.
They've got to make things happen for their own families.
That's right. And here's the thing that I think people forget about that time is that real estate was on sale. And that was kind of my message. It's a great opportunity. We all have that uncle in the family who's like, man, I could have bought that house for $20,000 back in the day, and now it's worth $400,000. Well, we were living those days.
Right.
And I remember just carrying that message like, guys, real estate's on sale. Let's go buy some property. And everybody else was like, oh, it's a and I'm just thinking, my gosh, we're living in these days right now. So obviously that it looks really good right now, 15 years later.
Yeah, 2026. Now we know what it's going to do, and it's going to do it again. And you just be prepared for it.
Well, I like what you said about how you kind of saw the opportunity to get into real estate and be there for your boys, be there at the events, at the games, because you had a son in sports, you had another one that was into the outdoors, and you could still be mom to teenagers and young adults while at the same time pursuing a career. What attracted you to the real estate business? Because you had some options, and you said your dad influenced you. But when you got in, what surprised you the most, and what did you find most rewarding? I'll just kind of make that open-ended question here.
Well, being a stay-home mom really prepared me actually for the real estate, because I think the problem-solving ability, negotiating with boys, patience, persistent. I mean, that really did help. And of course, I love houses. I love home interior. I love working with people. Yeah. And it was just very natural to me. Yeah. The part about dealing with the people, that came very naturally. Of course, the paperwork and the other education, I had to learn that, how to write contracts and negotiate them, and problem solving, and I'm pretty approachable. Right. So this was a great opportunity for me to maybe do something that works around, God, family, and then my real estate. So this worked for me, and I could still be a good mom and a good, I have the best support from my husband. I mean, I have the most wonderful husband. But when the kids got married and started having babies, now I'm flexible with the grandbabies.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And then there's things that happen in life, like you and I talked about at our meeting the other day. And, we've lost a couple older family members in the last month. And being able to go home and be there for my parents and be there for my cousins who have lost their dads, my mom's brothers, that helps. So, but I just I enjoy helping people, and I'm compassionate about it.
We're speaking with Debbie Timberlake. She's an agent at our firm, and one of the things I'm doing here as the owner, we're just bringing all of our agents, giving you, the listener, a chance to meet our amazing team of agents. One of the cool things about our firm is that it's not a one-man show by any means, and I brag every time I meet with a client. I brag on our 3 amazing staff members and how they make us all look good. They provide so much support for us. And by the way, we're going to get them onto the radio here soon, and I let you hear directly from Sierra and Mary and Adele. But in the meantime, Debbie, let me ask you this: as you right now in the market, 2026, it's a challenging market. Prices are at all-time highs. We're going to talk about the market a little bit in the segment just in a little bit, but prices are at all-time highs. Some buyers feel like it's almost unattainable, especially first-time home buyers. You got sellers that are in a market that's a little bit challenging, but what are you observing? You're out here in the day-to-day, boots on the ground. What advice would you give the first-time home buyer who wants to get out of the lease, buy a home, start investing in their career and their future? What are you seeing in the market, and what advice do you give a first-time home buyer who approaches you and says, "Hey, we want to take that plunge and buy our first home"?
Well, we want to research the market. We want to find out what price range they would be in. We want to research. Really set them up for their financing, if they're not going to pay with cash, and just really just show them what inventory is out there that would be attractive to them for their, what they can afford. Yeah. And just showing them what the market's done, like maybe in the last 6 months, and looking at certain homes that would fit for them. Right. And setting them up with a lender first of all.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's so valuable. That affordability really kind of comes down to what the monthly payment is. Like you think about it, the only time we care what you pay for a house is kind of the day you buy it and the day you sell it, right? Yes. We live in that payment. So you mentioned local lender. Get them in touch with a local lender that can guide them through.
First thing you want to do.
Yeah. Get the pre-qualification letter or pre-approval letter, and then you can then see exactly what those monthly payments are, and then build a budget, a price point around that.
And once we set the lender up and we have everything going, we all work together. And this is what we need: this communication. I need to know about their lending. I need to keep up with their lender. I need to we all need to be on the same page so there's no surprises at closing.
What kind of experience do you hope to bring all of your clients that you work with? What do you want them to walk away with after they've worked with Debbie Timberlake in either the sale or the purchase of the home?
Well, I want to be a trusted advisor, and I want to know that Debbie Timberlake was so compassionate, and she was reliable, and she was energetic. She was a good problem solver. She kept us calm.
Yeah.
Doing this for many years, I do get that compliment. How do you do this, Debbie? How did you stay so calm? Because of everything that came up through inspection and everything that came up here and there, and just any of the obstacles. And I don't know how I do it. I just did it.
Well, I think one big thing that you take for granted sometimes, being in the business every day, is that this is something you do every day, like that you help people solve these problems. And you use the word chaos, or maybe I did, but the fact is you can kind of create calm and clarity in the middle of what would be chaos for somebody who doesn't know what the process is. But you bring that experience and you bring that trusted advisor role, and you can then help people see the bigger picture. And to your point, you mentioned the word approachable. You are very approachable, Debbie, and you are a good problem solver. And I know that the clients who have had the opportunity to work with you in the past, certainly have had a great experience, and it is a rewarding work when you can hand the keys over.
We keep in touch with them.
Yes,
we do. We love referrals. I love referrals. So everybody listening, please send me a referral. But I sincerely keep in touch with them when they have babies, when they go through these big changes in life, good, bad, whatever. And I keep in touch with them, and I sincerely mean it. I just don't. I do it for myself too, because it makes me feel good.
That's great. Debbie Timberlake, thank you for coming in on the show with us today, introducing yourself to the audience. And when we come back on the second half, we're going to talk about when buying a home feels out of reach. Some families will do this instead. But in the meantime, Debbie, have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. And it was great to be here, and I will be back.
Good stuff. I'm glad you came on and overcame the nervousness of coming on the air. That was
I can't
big
grow if
you.
I don't have a little fear in my life.
Taking you out of your comfort zone. All right, when we come back,
thank you.
What buying a home looks like when it feels out of reach sometimes. Welcome back to the Karl Miller Show. I'm Karl, your host, principal broker at Karl Miller Realty. You can follow our social pages. Sierra, she is our creative director. She puts out fun, engaging content. Our social handles on Instagram and Facebook are at Karl Miller Realty. Follow us there. You'll probably learn something, and you get the opportunity to interact with us. It's a lot of fun. Maybe there's a real estate question you have that you want to get answered on air. Feel free to reach out to us and check in anytime, because we are here to help answer your questions, and we'd love to hear from you and engage with you.
It's time for Karl Miller Realty's Local Stat of the Week.
The most expensive property on the market today is a farm in Forest. This property does have some development potential, and if it sells for the asking price, would set an all-time high per acre price for a residential property or a farm. 360 acres and a 5,100 square foot home, along with some outbuildings, are all included in the parcel. And the price is $17,600,000. That's the highest property. Inversely, the lowest priced property with a house that could be restored is located in Lynchburg City. It's in the White Rock community for $19,900. You get a 1,900 square foot 2-bedroom house that sits within the 2023 boundary of the U.S. Registry of Historical Properties. So whether you want a project house or to undertake a multi-million-dollar development, Greater Lynchburg has something for everyone. Well, one of the things that's happening right now is home prices feel out of reach for some folks. And for a lot of people, the math on buying a home doesn't seem to work very well. And maybe that's how it feels for you, too. You look at the cost of buying, then you look at the cost of childcare, especially for younger families, and it just starts to feel like you have to choose one or the other. But some families are finding a way to make both work by doing something a little different, and that is teaming up to purchase a multi-generational home. It's no secret that affordability has been a challenge in recent years, but families with young kids, there is an added layer that can make it feel even harder, and that is the child care expenses. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, child care should take up to no more than 7% of your monthly income. But in reality today, the average married couple spends closer to 10% of their income on childcare. In some states, it's well above that. In Virginia, the typical family is spending 10.5% of their household income on childcare. So when you combine that cost with the cost of buying a home, things feel stretched financially. And that's why some families are starting to rethink how they approach both the childcare expense problem and the housing problem. So an option that's gaining a lot of traction right now is multi-generational living. And that's when parents or grandparents or other relatives buy a house together and live under the same roof. And it's not just about convenience anymore. It is becoming a go-to strategy. And the data that came out from the National Association of Realtors last year, 14%, that's almost 1 in 7 home buyers. 14% of home buyers last year bought a multi-generational home in 2025. And for the first time, childcare is showing up as the key reason why they're choosing this option. NAR, rep from the National Association of Realtors, said that this year's report features 2 primary reasons for purchasing a multi-gen home: grandchildren living in the home, which was 12%, and help reduce the cost of childcare as being listed as 6%. Those were the 2 top reasons. So, why it works. Buying a multi-gen home, it solves 2 big challenges at the same time. It's interesting. Anthony, I'm going to pull you in here, the producer of the show here. You're kind of in that generation where some of your friends may be getting married, or maybe some of your older friends a little bit. And I don't know if childcare, if that topic comes up at all, or do you stay away from the friends married with kids? No, just kidding.
Now, I have two pairs of my friends that are married.
Right.
I was the best man for one of them.
Yeah.
And neither of those pairs right now have mentioned anything to me about children. I think that's in the future plans, but not right now.
Sure.
But no, I've in that point of life where weddings are several a year.
That's it.
And I am in the time of my life where it's weddings and families having and friends having babies.
Yeah, for me, it's my cousins. Some of my cousins are in that space, and a couple of them, they're fortunate enough that one of them has a high income earner, just like Debbie last segment was on the show. Wives are fortunate enough to be able to stay home full time, and they choose this. I mean, this is a choice, but then I've got others where it's challenging. There's two working parents. 2 or 3 kids in different households.
My sister. I've got a niece and a nephew and another niece or nephew on the way. And her husband has a good enough job that she does get to stay home with the kids. But that's a real conversation that I know that my friends who are married and in that stage of life where maybe that is something that's coming, that's a real conversation that they have to have, because childcare, especially nationwide in the country, isn't getting cheaper. It tends to be getting more expensive and harder to afford. So it does not shock me at all that 14, almost 15% of first-time home buyer or of people that were buying houses in 2025 are getting the people to come in and pretty much play the nanny role, even though that's their grandchild or great-grandchild or something like that.
It's interesting. I've traveled quite a bit in other parts of the world. That's the norm. I mean, in China, that's the norm. The grandparents take care of the kids, the grandkids. I've been in Africa where that's the norm. There's families living together, and that's just the culture. What I find fascinating is, to your point, again, if according to the Department of Health and Human Services, should take up no more than 7% of your income. And I'm on a couple of boards and committees and economic outlook, just opportunities to sit on some meetings that are high level in this South Central Virginia. And I hear this theme coming up over and over again, just the cost of childcare. And not just that, but also the lack of, resources. In other words, the demand is outstripping the supply right now. And even in my office, we have some agents that pay for this, and they're working on solutions right now. We have a little cheat sheet here, which shows the national average being 10%, but the top states that have the highest, unsurprisingly, New England states. New York is up there. Looks like New Jersey's in there, along with Rhode Island. and Massachusetts. Those are the highest in the Northeast. And then when you kind of skip across the United States, the Midwest, Minnesota, 12.3%. And then, unsurprisingly, the left coast, Washington, Oregon, California, those are all above 12%. In fact, Oregon is at 12.9%. That's what the typical family in Oregon is spending for childcare and their household income, 12.9%. That is a significant jump from the recommendation of 7%. But as I'm looking across this map, I don't even see any states under 7%. I guess South Dakota, 6.7% in South Dakota. That's the only state where the child care average is below what the Department of Health and Human Services says would be a standard number. So back to that. So we have that dilemma, and then back to housing prices. The housing prices are expensive. But to your point, Anthony, it just makes so much sense why 1 in 7 home buyers looked at that option, at least having the option, right? So you have the basement apartment, or you've got the sprawling extra suite, on a ranch style home, or maybe it's a ADU. We're hearing a lot of talk about accessory dwelling units right now, where you can have, as I was actually on the Mary and Brian show earlier last week, I guess it was, and as they're affectionately called, Brian was calling them the granny pads, which is, the slang term for them. But, the fact is you got that extra opportunity for another dwelling on the property. And we're actually going to talk about that. We're going to have a show soon about just how that law that's been passed in Virginia will affect, homeowners and home buyers in Virginia, potentially.
And this is maybe more of a, I guess, more fun, not intellectual question, but right. Could you stomach living with your family for that long?
That is a great question. And I listen to a lot of different people and a lot of opinions, and I think it just depends on personality. And you asked me, I mean, I'm a pretty independent guy, and I don't like to sort of feel like I need to answer to anyone else outside of my household. So right. for me, it wouldn't work, I don't think. Now, if it's a season in life, where parents or grandparents are older and it's a season of life where, hey, we're going to take care of a family member the last days, but it wouldn't be for childcare, I don't think. Yeah. Now, that's just me. And I hear people call into the Dave Ramsey show talking about this, and he has some strong opinions about that. But here's the thing, though. I think when you want to buy a home, you can look at it this as a short-term problem, maybe for 2 years or 3 years. And, hey, there's families making it work. I mean, I've got clients that are doing it, and they seem to be living a happy life.
Yeah.
I personally would have a hard time with it, but it does solve the problem. It solves the financial problem. It solves the child care problem, and it gets people into home ownership. And I think it's something to consider if that's the only option you have.
Absolutely.
So, well, bottom line, if you are listening to this, you want more information on multi-generational homes, you want to explore your options, hey, let's have a conversation about what's available in our area.
It's time for Karl Miller Realty's Fun Fact of the Week.
Today's fun fact has to do with picture-perfect listings. Every listing we get, we work with great photographers to make sure the properties shine. From lighting to angles to editing, we know that high-quality photos make all the difference when it comes to marketing your home and attracting the right buyers. I like to say when we're listing a house, whether it's $80,000 or $800,000, we get it professionally photographed. Well, if you have real estate questions you want answered, contact us. Hit our social media platforms. Give me a call. I want to thank our sponsor, Gary's Garden Center. Spring has arrived. Hey, they've got a greenhouse full of beautiful blooms. Go visit them today at 794 Leesville Road. Great plants, great selection, great advice. Tell them that Karl Miller Realty sent you there. Thank you for listening. We are your local, caring, competent, trusted advisors. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll see you next week.